Hi guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another episode of Total War Arena. So, today we have the Tier 6 War Dogs. As I finally finished the Tier 5s and got onto the Hound Handlers. It's a good name. I love the name of all these War Dogs. They're so cool. So, a little bit different from my usual format of this sort of thing. Time has been really short over these last couple of days, so I haven't had a chance to really play these guys that much. I've only had a couple of games with them, haven't really got them upgraded at all. So we're going to do this whole video live and hope that the game doesn't go absolutely horribly, rather than doing it on a replay like I normally do. So a few things to comment so far. Obviously they play very similarly to the previous Tier 4 and Tier 5 War Dogs, and they're still great. I still really enjoy them. A few things I have noticed so far are you get an extra ability, Fetch, which isn't available on the Tier 4 or the Tier 5, and basically this releases the War Dogs for a short period of time. They charge forwards, they attack for about 10 seconds, I believe it is. Yes, and for that you get increased impact damage, melee attack, and charge impact, which is great, really useful. But then after that short period of time, the dogs return to the handlers, and then you can, activate that ability again if you want to, rather than with the normal unleash, where they'll attack until you either call them back or the enemy is dead. But that's kind of a handy. Sometimes Fetch is handy because it allows you to cycle charge in, get that impact damage, then come back out, then charge in, then come back out. So it can be pretty useful. So that's something I've kind of, and hopefully we'll showcase that in this video a little bit. But that's kind of something that's a little bit different from the Tier 4s or 5s. The other thing I've changed, which I haven't done previously, and probably an error on my part, is I'm normally using incentives because it gives melee defense, not particularly useful, weapon damage and melee attack to the dogs, 5 and 10%. But instead, now I'm using Spar. Previously, I assumed that the Spar only applied to the dog handlers, which is kind of useful, but I felt the War Dogs are the main weapon of the handlers, not the actual infantrymen themselves. But actually, if you go and look at the unit statistics using Spar, it does add the melee attack and the impact damage to the dogs as well as the handlers. So that's actually pretty useful, particularly the melee attack. Plus 6 melee attack when you've only got 82 to start with is actually, a noticeable improvement. And the impact damage is always handy because dogs get that nice charge. So that seemed like a pretty worthwhile consumable to have, and it's permanent, it's full time. It works all the time, rather than that which gives a 10% melee attack. Well, on 82, that would only give a melee attack of plus 8.2 anyway, so it's really not a lot higher, and this only runs for 10 seconds, yet this runs for the entire game. So Spar seems to be a lot better over the incentives that, the consumable that you get normally. So anyway, we'll finish off my aimless rambling, and let's hop into a game and see how we get on. So we are loading into the Battle of Salernum. What have we got? Looks like we're about top tier. There's a few tier 5s kicking around. We've got some light artillery, some ranged but not too many. We'll go here. That's what I'm trying to get. I kind of like going around the city, to be honest, with the War Dogs. Obviously you have got the 5s to the north, which does give the bonus to the barbarian infantry of the dogs, so that could be, a good target as well. But I find you kind of a lot more exposed, particularly if there's cavalry kicking around, although there's not a lot of cavalry in the game currently. I'm conscious of the fact that we've got a lot of light artillery on our team, means the enemy's probably got light artillery, or at least some form of artillery. So we want to watch out for that. We could push forwards, or we're going to push straight to town. Let's push straight to town. Dogs can be quite good sort of allies with the pikemen, because they're the only unit that can actually fight with pikemen and not take friendly fire damage. Not the handlers, but the dogs themselves fight underneath the pikes. So once these guys are in the pike phalanx, the dogs can fight through them, which is kind of cool. We've got some equites having a bit of a venture down. I wouldn't have thought they would go a lot further than this. Oh, they're going to go straight for the artillery. Someone has gone straight for the artillery. Let's see what we can do to go and assist. I should have noticed that earlier. That guy made good use of infiltration. Let's unleash the dogs, try and get ahead of us. Hopefully these equites don't notice us prior. No, they haven't. So we've got our dogs out. Make sure we're not going to get flanked by anyone else. Looks like we're in the clear. Our dogs are charging in. The problem is all our artillery is already dead. Oh dear, that was not so good. We got a bit of damage with the dogs, but not a lot, and certainly not enough to make up for the loss of all our artillery crews already. Oh, what a shame. Okay, right, let's recall our dogs. Okay, not such a good start to this game. We've got some enemy hound handlers over there. Let's have a look. We've got some war elephants in the town. Oh dear, I think this is not looking very good already. Those war dogs are going. Looks like they're going to go for those pikemen. If they completely unleash, I'll go for their handlers. It looks like, oh, that's enemy cavalry using infiltration again. Sneaky. Let's just ping him, so try and give a bit of awareness to the fact that he's an enemy unit. Right, I'm going to try and go for these handlers. Is this going to be a good move or not? I don't know. We've got some legions coming in here. He's going to call his dogs back. I'm going to unleash my dogs and try and target their dogs. I am spread out to hell with my handlers. I'm leading forwards as well. It's getting intense. We're actually getting a bit of damage up against their dogs, hopefully. Which we are, which is a good thing. So I'm just going to wait here. Just recall my dogs. Looks like their dogs got decimated. So, let's go against these Principes. If those handlers are going to be about dead, most of their units are dead, which is good. We haven't really done a lot so far this game, though. Let's have a go at cycle charging against this guy here, look. We're not really getting much of a charge off, are we? And that guy's turned on me. And he has got vengeance as well. Oops. No, back. If he's going to disengage from that fight. He's obviously a much more alert player than I thought. And we've got some enemy cavalry behind us, so let's get out of here for a second. Let's get a rebellion activated. Okay, that was not so bad. That was not so bad. He sort of really ruined his charge there. We'll go for our charge to see if we can get anything against him. Good, 13,000 damage. That's a little bit more like it. That's more what we want to achieve. Looks like those enemy units down there have been defeated, so we're going to, or are being defeated, so we're going to pull back down here. I'm just trying to preserve some semblance of life in my units. Let's get our hounds stuck in over here. Hopefully they've got a little bit of rebellion activated, so let's reactivate that. Try and get our handlers back past and round to the back and see what we can do. At least cut these guys off so then they can't escape. This is the guys whose dogs we were fighting earlier by the looks of it. I want to turn around. Oh, that's a terrible charge. I'm going to hit part of the building. But we should be able to start to finish this guy off. Now let's cut him down. This battle is actually going in our favour, which I didn't really expect after that initial defeat of all the artillery and all that sort of stuff. Oh, we just cut down these war dogs. Oh, is that enemy cavalry? Yes, it is. That was quite a big hit there. Thankfully, I was on the other side, so most of my handlers managed to avoid that hit. And looks like we've just killed Arminius as well, and we're getting a good amount of damage on them as they pull out. We're actually going to rout. Not so bad for us after all. Right, let's pull our dogs back into the unit. And slightly attempt to de-blob. Right, and let's get moving. There we go, we're doing okay. Thankfully, my risk of going for a live battle has played out. As long as I don't do anything really stupid, I might not look like a complete moron like I normally do. So we've got some more enemy war dogs to face off against. These Punic mercenaries are fighting these handlers over here, but it looks like most of the enemy dogs are already dead. So let's just send our dogs in, to be honest. Get them ahead. Make sure we're not got any enemy cavalry immediately flanking us, which doesn't look like we do. They're not going to get a very good charge here because obviously they're hitting the back of allied units first. Get you two to go that side. Let's see what you can do over here. I can't really charge because I'll just get too much damage. But hopefully we can get a bit of flanking damage on these guys. Maybe get someone to rout. Go on. Rout. You know you want to. And we cut down these handlers fairly easily, hopefully. Yes, look how effective our dogs are. And this, I mean, these dogs are just so great, and they seem to last such a long time. You can get engaged in so many different engagements, as long as you're a little bit careful with them. They really do keep going. And they're still going, and they're still really ruthlessly effective now, even though I actually forgot to activate my rebellion to give me my damage buff. There is that enemy. So we've got rebellion activated. Oh, I've gone for the wrong. No, don't go for them. Okay, I'm just taking artillery fire, I notice. Let's recall my dogs and get in cover behind this building. I hadn't expected that. So let's release over here somewhere. Send our dogs over there, see how they get on. Looks like they're going to de-deploy their artillery. We are going to take shots now as we clear this opening, I would have thought. But our dogs are on the way. They have lost rebellion. We can reactivate that. Although it won't affect these dogs now because they're too far away. Oh! Come on, doggies, don't give up. Keep the charge. Keep the charge. Go. They're getting the slowdown from... Okay, they're getting in amongst them now. So, yeah, they should soon start to rack up the damage, which is exactly what we want. I don't know why I've clustered together with these units, but we're going to go for this exit here. Going to go for the charge to try and stop these guys getting away. We managed to get most of them. There we go, and they are dead. Oh, this has panned into a lovely game. Oh, and victory. Look at that. We captured the enemy base. Well, that panned out a lot nicer than I thought it was. Top player. Huh, I'm pretty chuffed with myself. So, let's have a quick look at the battle results when we get loaded back out of that one. That was my first victory of the day with Boudica. So we got 3,500 unit experience, over 1,000 free experience. 3,500 aggression damage. We got a bit of support damage. Yeah, it's quite a nice game. 40,000 silver. As if I still get occasionally people say, "Oh, is it worth running consumables?" I mean, when you can make 40,000 silver for only 2,800 on those consumables for that increased melee attack and charge damage, absolutely run consumables. Always run consumables in this game. The amount of silver you get is so extreme. But yes, hopefully that gives a bit of a highlight of why I like these war dogs. I've really enjoyed the tier 4s and tier 5s, and the tier 6s do not fail to disappoint. They play out very similarly and are just really enjoyable units. Both the handlers and the dogs are nice. The handlers just play like barbarian infantry, slightly smaller units. Obviously there aren't very many of them, but they fight fine so long as you don't face off against Romans with vengeance, or Carthaginians in the later stages of Ad Porters. Then they really are fairly effective warriors, particularly when they're in the forests, and obviously they get that increased melee attack and defense buff that they get from fighting in forests. So hopefully you found this to be an enjoyable video. If you have, give that video a like, subscribe to the channel for more Total War Arena content, and thank you guys. I shall see you all on the next episode.